Welcome to another episode of the Read Pile. Today I am taking a look at more One Punch Man, this time volumes 21 and 22. And we left off in volume 20 with the start of the sort of street level fight. Actually, this starts with one page talking about the occasionally monsters suddenly evolve, which definitely comes back up later, but it's this rhino guy that Giro is talking to. Anyway, the street level fight that is happening, that is just beginning between the human and monster associations, and what had happened thus far is the A, B, and some of the C level heroes were fighting, and this starts with S getting in on the action. So Atomic Samurai comes in, and one of his underlings had been fighting this rhino guy. He's like, I'll deal with it. And then, boom! It's awesome. But Atomic Samurai is just the first, and then we get Flashy Flash. There's a big chapter with him later, Black Luster, and Prisoner. So basically everyone, having read these two volumes, and I pointed out this sort of, there's an 8-character like team gathering shot that I think was in volume 20. It had Flashy Flash, Child Emperor, Black Luster, Prisoner. There were 8. Tornado was there. Zombie Man, I think, was there. I can't remember everyone else. Atomic Samurai. But I think we are now getting focus on each of those 8. I'm waiting for... Is it Blizzard or Tornado? It's Tornado. I'm waiting for her because every time she shows up, she's an absolute badass. And she's also hilarious. Unintentionally. But... here we get some Child Emperor stuff going on, and we get this foreshadowing of these 4 dudes. So there's a good, strong start, and the heroes wind up going underground, beginning of that here, and they all split up. And this is really where I think the focus on each of the S-Class heroes starts. So Tornado, I can never remember this guy's name. Prisoner, Black Luster, Atomic Samurai, and his people. But there should be some others as well. There is... when Flashy Flash first showed up, I wasn't really a fan of him. And there's a whole chapter in here, which is him versus these ninja dudes that we saw previously fighting Speed of Sound Sonic. This fight is incredible, and it leans into the Naruto-esque nature of the ninja society in this world, and there's a bunch of references to things that will probably go undeveloped, but I just love this level of world building is what I enjoy, unlike Superman, if you saw that video. So, this, awesome. I loved all of it. They, kind of typical Dragon Ball style, they start out fighting, nobody's at full power, nobody's at full speed, and then the 2 ninja dudes monsterize, and then they get faster, and the intensity of the fight increases, and all of this is gorgeous and awesome, and I loved every second of it. And by the end of this, I had become a fan of Flashy Flash. So he gets his own chapter where he fights those ninja dudes, and then we get Child Emperor, and he runs into this sort of disassembled robot. But this guy, who I thought had been a joke up until this point, becomes kind of a badass, and we see what all Child Emperor has and does with his mechanisms and the tools that he's got, and he winds up running into the kidnapped kid. So they start making their way out of this, and then, where is it? It's in here somewhere. Oh, I had made a prediction about this guy, and it turns out I'm just wrong. I thought this was Metal Knight in disguise. Not the case. Anyway, we get a bit of history on Phoenix Man, and then he is seemingly blown up until he gets this 2-page spread of look how badass he looks now, and I would buy a toy of this or a model kit. I've been building model kits. And then the real fight begins between Child Emperor and now resurrected Phoenix Man. I think that's at the start. Yeah, it's the start of the next one. So this fight is pretty awesome as well, and I really feared for Child Emperor because he seemed unprepared. Not really unprepared, but he seemed outmatched. But he kept pulling things out of his backpack and just kind of a badass. And in the bonus chapter, this guy makes a reappearance. I'm looking forward to seeing him in action again. I found him interesting, and he's formidably strong. So he was from the tournament. He's in a cast. So I hope he rejoins the series in, I'll say, some kind of significant way, because I really enjoyed him from the tournament. And it seemed like he had a change of heart regarding how he thought about fighting and his life in general. So this then continues the Child Emperor versus Phoenix Man fight, and the way that this ends is nutty. I won't show you that unless it's on accident, so I won't intentionally show it to you. But we get Saitama actually shows up, and this stuff is hilarious. So Saitama runs into the kidnapped kid and Child Emperor, and kind of at the height of this battle, Zombie Man checks in, and so they have a brief conversation, and then we'll see the flip side of that in the Zombie Man focused chapter that happens a little bit later, but starts here. And Zombie Man, he hasn't been in this series much, so I didn't think much of him, sort of like Flashy Flash, except here it's shown that he is very strong, very powerful, very resilient, and also entertaining. This guy's great. Once these characters get developed, like initially, and there he is again, and I still can't remember his name, and I don't think he's shown in the cast again. No. What is that dude's name? If you know, tell me in the comments and maybe I'll remember. But Zombie Man, oh, these guys show up too. If you remember them, they were the mercenary crew that got hired, and then their brains got taken over by this chick. Zombie Man is awesome, and basically, in the world of One Punch Man, characters are shown and then possibly not really developed until later, and Zombie Man is one of those guys, and now that he's been developed, I love it. Love it. Also, in addition to the Atomic Samurai apprentices, My Mask shows up, and he, kind of a mystery. Here she is without her mask. But there's definitely something going on with the My Mask, and I don't know what, and I'm into finding out whatever that is, but I'm continuing to love it. I still don't have volume 23. I am instead going to jump over to Gunsmith Cats for a bit. I started this last night. So I think my wife made some purchases. This and Sakamoto Days, volume 18, we're also missing. So I think she placed an order. There's a couple of things that I'm waiting on, and until then, I've got Gunsmith Cats to read. Folks got other stuff to read, but possibly a break in this for a bit until volume 23, and I think volume 26 was the other one that we were missing. So, slight break while I wait for more, but I'll still be reading, still be doing videos as often as I can. Just once again, just absolutely in love with this series. Looking forward to season 3 of the show, which I guess is going to be a bunch of one-on-one fights, or 2-on-1, or there's the fights that are now taking place in this. It is sort of a weird transition from the earlier, shorter, more episodic stories into this kind of fight-focused one-on-one, almost 2-on-1 sometimes, fighting that has taken over during this Monster Association versus Hero Association story arc. So I don't know how long that's going to last, but I'm still very much enjoying it.